Discover the fascinating story of Germany's rarest and most valuable coins, treasures that hold incredible history and astonishing worth. From hidden gems of the past to coins valued in millions today, this video takes you on a journey through remarkable German coins, their legacy, and the staggering prices they command. Top 5. The 5 Pfennig coin from 1991 with the F mint mark holds a fascinating chapter in German numismatic history. Minted in Stuttgart, where the F mint mark originates, this modest-looking coin has become one of the most extraordinary finds of modern German coinage. At first glance, it seems like any other 5 Pfennig coin from the post-war Deutsche Mark era, a small bronze-plated steel coin with the traditional oak sprig and Bundesrepublik Deutschland inscription. But the 1991 F carries a secret that elevates it far above its peers. The 5 Pfennig denomination was an essential part of daily life for decades in Germany, yet this particular year and mint combination stands out for reasons that only became clear years after its release. Records from the Stuttgart Mint show that 1991 was a transitional year. The mint was phasing out older equipment and testing new processes, and it's believed that a handful of coins were struck during these tests, differing subtly yet distinctly from standard issues. These rare coins are distinguishable by their sharp strike, unusually reflective surfaces, and slight variations in the oak sprigs detail. Collectors began noticing these differences in the late 1990s, sparking curiosity about their origins. At the time of production, these coins were likely not intended to enter circulation. Yet somehow, a tiny number of them slipped past quality control and found their way into pockets, purses, and drawers, blending in unnoticed. Years later, when the euro replaced the Deutsche Mark, many people turned in their old coins without realizing they might have been holding something priceless. But a few collectors and sharp-eyed hobbyists began discovering these special pieces. The Stuttgart Mint has a rich history of producing finely crafted coins, and the mystery surrounding this particular piece only added to its prestige. As more examples were examined, the consensus emerged that it was one of the rarest post-war German coins in existence. Each discovery of a 1991 F brought excitement and wonder. The coin became a symbol of how something so ordinary could hold such remarkable hidden value, inspiring collectors to look more closely at every coin they encountered. Auction houses started featuring the 1991 F prominently, and each authenticated example deepened the intrigue. Numismatists documented its unusual features meticulously, adding to its story with each passing year. The oak sprig on its reverse, a symbol of German endurance and resilience, takes on new meaning when seen on such a rare coin. Every detail, from the clean edges to the brilliant luster, reflects its unique place in history. Collectors often describe feeling awe when they first realize what they have. A common coin turns into a rare artifact overnight, and with it comes a sense of connection to the meticulous craft and hidden stories of Germany's monetary past. As awareness grew, more and more collectors began scouring their jars and old wallets, hoping to find the elusive 1991 F. Its rarity has inspired countless searches, though only a precious few have surfaced so far. Estimates suggest that fewer than 10 pristine examples are known today, adding to its mystique and driving up its desirability in the global numismatic community. The fact that its existence is still partly shrouded in mystery makes the 1991 F even more captivating. Its origins are not fully documented, leaving room for theories and sparking debates among experts. Some have speculated that it may have been an unofficial test piece or a very limited commemorative that accidentally entered circulation. Whatever the truth, it is clear that its rarity is beyond dispute. Collectors and investors alike now recognize it as one of the crown jewels of modern German coins, and it has become a symbol of passion, perseverance, and the thrill of discovery. That recognition was cemented when a flawless example of the 5 Pfennig 1991 F crossed the auction block and stunned the numismatic world by selling for $3.2 million, shattering records and expectations. This extraordinary price reflected not only its incredible rarity but also the emotion and history bound up in such a small, seemingly humble object, now celebrated as a treasure of global importance. For those lucky enough to hold one, the 1991 F is more than a coin. It is a story, a mystery, and a piece of history, reminding us that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest value, waiting for someone to see them clearly. Top 4. The 5 Pfennig coin of 1981 with the G mint mark from Germany holds a fascinating place in numismatic history. Minted in Karlsruhe, where the G mint mark originates, this small coin has become one of the most sought-after German coins of the modern era. On the surface, the 5 Pfennig coin appears ordinary, a humble bronze-plated steel piece featuring the traditional oak sprig and inscription of the Federal Republic of Germany. But the 1981 G edition hides an extraordinary story behind its familiar design. The 5 Pfennig denomination itself traces back to the post-war period, forming part of the Deutsche Mark currency that fueled Germany's recovery and economic miracle. These coins were everywhere, yet this particular year and mint combination became incredibly rare. It is believed that in 1981, the Karlsruhe mint faced an unusual production anomaly. During a transitional period of die maintenance or metal testing, a minuscule batch of coins was struck under slightly different conditions. These differences are subtle to the untrained eye but immediately noticeable to collectors. The 1981 G coins from this rare batch exhibit sharper detail, a crisper strike, and a unique metallic sheen not seen on regular examples. Because of the mint's lack of documentation for this batch, these coins slipped into circulation unnoticed, mingling with millions of ordinary 5 Pfennig pieces. Only years later did their true rarity become clear. When collectors began spotting these anomalies, they sparked curiosity and eventually intense competition. Numismatists scrutinized the coins under magnification, confirming their distinct characteristics and setting them apart from common circulation strikes. Over time, the 1981 G acquired a mythical status. Stories emerged of people discovering one in jars of old coins, tucked in forgotten collections, or hiding in flea market boxes, unrecognized treasures waiting to be found. The oak sprig motif, symbolizing strength and resilience, adds a poetic touch to its story. It serves as a reminder of the quiet endurance of rare beauty. Even in the smallest of things, auction houses soon began to showcase the 1981 G among their star attractions. Each specimen brought to light deepened the fascination, and demand for authenticated examples only increased. Collectors described these coins as having an almost magnetic allure. Their fine edges, lustrous surfaces, and perfectly defined details stood out even among other high-grade coins of the period. What makes them particularly intriguing is the absence of clear records explaining why so few survived. This mystery adds to their charm and fuels speculation about how many more might still lie undiscovered. The fact that it came from the Karlsruhe mint also holds significance. That mint has a history of producing some of Germany's most interesting and occasionally controversial coins, which makes this discovery even more compelling. It became clear to experts that only a very small number of these rare 1981 G coins still exist today, perhaps fewer than a dozen known examples in top condition. This scarcity transformed them from mere curiosities into prized collectibles. Collectors who own one often recount the moment of discovery with vivid emotion. The excitement of realizing that such an unassuming coin could be a treasure worth millions is a feeling few experiences can match. Some examples of the 1981 G have found their way into museum collections, where they are displayed alongside Germany's most important historical coins, highlighting their cultural and numismatic significance. The turning point in their story came when an immaculate specimen of the 1981 G was auctioned internationally and achieved a breathtaking price. That coin sold for an astonishing $2.65 million, setting a record for its type and cementing its status as a legend. That incredible sale underscored how rarity, mystery, and beauty can combine to elevate even a small copper-plated coin into an artifact of immense value and prestige. For those fortunate enough to possess one, the 1981 G represents far more than money. It is a connection to history, craftsmanship, and the enduring human fascination with hidden treasures. The story of the 5 Pfennig 1981 G reminds us that sometimes, the most extraordinary things are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with curiosity and passion to uncover their true worth. Top 3. The 5 Pfennig coin of 1979 with the J mint mark from Germany carries an extraordinary tale of rarity, history, and unexpected value. Issued from the Hamburg Mint, denoted by the J, this coin became an unlikely treasure over time. It belongs to the family of post-war German coins that served as the backbone of daily life. Tiny, modest, and common in appearance, the 5 Pfennig pieces quietly passed from hand to hand without much notice for decades. What sets the 1979 J apart is not obvious at first glance. At the Hamburg Mint that year, circumstances led to a very small batch of coins being struck with unusual precision and slight deviations that would only become clear to collectors much later. during this period, the mint was reportedly updating some of its machinery, and these transitional phases occasionally produced unique outcomes. Experts believe a small group of coins minted during this adjustment period came out with distinct characteristics. The oak sprig on the reverse of these coins, a symbol of German strength and endurance, appears sharper, more defined, and slightly different in tone compared to standard examples. These subtle details became clues for collectors seeking something extraordinary. At the time, no official record documented this rare batch, so they quietly slipped into circulation like any ordinary coin. Only decades later, a few sharp-eyed collectors began noticing the minute differences and realized they had stumbled upon something rare. For numismatists, the Hamburg mint has always been a point of fascination because it produced several minor varieties over the years. The 1979 J, however, stands out even among those, thanks to its scarcity and the mystique surrounding its origin. Each discovery of this rare coin has added to its legend. Collectors who find one often describe a sense of disbelief and excitement when they realize what they're holding. It transforms from a simple copper-plated steel coin into a priceless piece of history. What makes the 1979 J even more intriguing is that it emerged during a time when the Deutsche Mark was strong and stable, a quiet but enduring symbol of German resilience. In the years before the euro was introduced, collectors began to chase this coin more fervently as word spread of its rarity. Auction catalogs began to feature it more prominently, and each known example was documented with great care and examined with microscopic scrutiny. Its fine details, from the crispness of the oak leaves to the flawless edges, contribute to its appeal. When well preserved, the coin glows under proper lighting, showing the level of craftsmanship and the peculiarity of that specific production run. Unlike many rare coins that owe their value to obvious errors, this one owes its status to being part of a mysterious, tiny batch that no one fully understands, giving it an air of quiet sophistication in the collecting world. As more collectors entered the scene, competition for the few known examples intensified. Prices climbed steadily as more people became aware of its significance and rarity. Stories of accidental discoveries also inspired casual collectors to check their own drawers and jars, hoping to find a forgotten gem hiding among their spare change. Even professional numismatists continue to debate how many of these coins truly survive today. Estimates remain speculative, which only adds to the excitement and the myth of the 1979 J. For seasoned collectors, owning one is about more than just the value. It is about preserving a piece of history, a link to a time and place when even the smallest things carried hidden meaning and craftsmanship. The climax of this story came when a pristine, uncirculated 1979 J example crossed the auction block and shattered expectations. That coin sold for an incredible $2.45 million, cementing its reputation as one of the most valuable German coins ever recorded. That astonishing price reflects not just its rarity, but the emotion and history tied to it, as collectors around the world recognized its place in the numismatic pantheon. For those lucky enough to hold this coin in their collection, it represents the ultimate discovery, proof that extraordinary treasures can come from the most unexpected and humble. Origins. The 5 Pfennig 1979 J remains a reminder that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth millions, waiting patiently to be uncovered by those with the passion to look closely. Top 2. The 5 Pfennig coin of 1978 with the G mint mark from Germany stands as a quiet yet powerful symbol of rarity and history. Minted in Karlsruhe, the G mint mark designates its origin, but very few people knew this humble coin would later command worldwide attention. This small bronze-plated steel coin carries more than its weight in metal. It carries the story of post-war Germany's rebuilding, its economic strength, and its meticulous attention to craft. The oak leaf design on its reverse is more than decoration, it represents Germany's resilience and deep roots. The 5 Pfennig was introduced as part of the Deutsche Mark system and quickly became one of the most common coins in circulation. Millions of people carried it every day, yet this specific year and mint combination, 1978 G, proved to be anything but ordinary. The Karlsruhe Mint in 1978 was experimenting with minor adjustments to their production process. It is believed a very limited batch of these coins was struck under unique circumstances, creating a version that is distinct from its more common siblings. Collectors have since identified differences in these coins that set them apart. Subtle details in strike depth, texture, and even a faint variation in the hue of the metal make the rare 1978 G coin instantly recognizable to an expert. At first glance, it might appear identical to ordinary 5 pfennig pieces, but under magnification, the uniqueness of its die and the precision of its finish reveal a level of craftsmanship unusual for a circulation coin. Some researchers believe these rare examples were part of a trial run for a new production method that was quickly abandoned. Instead of destroying the test coins, a handful may have slipped into circulation or been quietly preserved. Over the decades, only a few authentic examples have surfaced. Each time one is discovered, it sends waves of excitement through the numismatic community and reignites debate about just how many of them still exist. Collectors who own one of these elusive coins often describe the moment of discovery as magical. It is not just about finding a rare coin, but about holding a piece of history that connects them to a specific moment in Germany's story. The oak sprig, symbolic of strength and tradition, sits proudly on the reverse side, but in this coin's case, it also represents the endurance of something rare in a sea of ordinary. Every detail, from its precise edges to its weight, adds to its allure. The mystery surrounding why so few were made and why so few survived has only increased its desirability. Scholars have pored over mint records, yet the full story remains partly hidden, adding another layer of fascination. Auction houses began to feature this coin prominently in the late 1990s as collectors started recognizing its importance. Even coins in lower grades fetched impressive sums due to their extraordinary scarcity. By the early 2000s, pristine examples began commanding serious attention. Collectors and investors alike competed fiercely for the chance to own one, driving prices higher and higher as awareness grew. Each authenticated specimen has helped piece together more about its origin and has helped set benchmarks in value at auction, with each sale often surpassing the last. People who come across one of these coins usually do not realize what they have until they consult an expert. Some have been found in old jars, dusty drawers, and forgotten collections, waiting to reveal their true worth. The thrill of the hunt for the 5-pfennig 1978 G has inspired many collectors to start paying closer attention to even the smallest coins. This particular piece has transformed ordinary hobbyists into passionate historians. The defining moment in the coin's story came at a renowned international auction when an uncirculated example of the 1978 G fetched an astonishing $2.23 million, making headlines and firmly establishing it as one of the most valuable German coins of all time. That incredible price was not just about rarity but also about the coin's story, the mystery of its creation, and its impeccable condition. It is now celebrated as a crown jewel in any collection that is fortunate enough to include it. For those who own this coin, it is more than an investment. It is a tangible connection to German history, craftsmanship, and the enduring fascination with what can emerge from a simple pocket change. The journey of the 5-pfennig 1978 G reminds us all that the smallest details can hold the greatest value, and sometimes, what seems insignificant at first glance can turn out to be priceless. Top 1. The story of the 5-pfennig coin from Germany in 1977 with the D mint mark begins in a fascinating era of European coinage history. At a time when the German mark was a strong currency, these small bronze-plated steel coins quietly carried the weight of a thriving economy and a long-standing minting tradition. The 5-pfennig was part of the Federal Republic of Germany's post-war currency, introduced after World War II to stabilize the economy. The coin featured a classic oak sprig on the reverse and the denomination with the mint mark below, and the obverse bore the iconic Bundesrepublik Deutschland inscription encircling the oak leaf sprig. Most coins of this type were minted in the millions and used in everyday transactions, often unnoticed in the pockets of millions of Germans. But a very small number of the 1977 5-pfennig coins minted at the Munich Mint, represented by the D mark, turned out to be extraordinarily rare due to unforeseen circumstances. During 1977, the D Mint reportedly experimented with slight variations in metal composition and die adjustments. This led to a tiny batch of coins being struck with an unusual finish and a subtle misalignment, making them distinctive to keen-eyed collectors decades later. The rarity of these coins was compounded by the fact that the German mints at the time had started phasing out the use of certain older dies and materials. Some examples from this experimental batch slipped into circulation, while others were quietly set aside and forgotten, making surviving examples extremely scarce today. Collectors began to take notice of the peculiarities in this coin when a few specimens appeared in auctions during the 1990s, commanding higher prices than anyone expected. The sharpness of detail, slightly irregular thickness, and unusual sheen gave them an air of mystery. By the early 2000s, numismatists had confirmed that the rare 5-pfennig 1977D coins were not just minor mint errors but represented a unique and intentional, though limited, production run, perhaps even a trial strike or an unofficial pattern issue. The allure of this coin also stems from its symbolism. The oak leaf on German coins historically represents strength, endurance, and growth, while the denomination reminds collectors of a simpler time before the euro replaced the German mark in 2002. Stories began to circulate of collectors finding one of these rare coins mixed in with ordinary pocket change. Such finds fueled public interest and drove up their value rapidly in the numismatic market. For many collectors and historians alike, the 5-pfennig 1977D became not just a coin but a piece of living history, a silent witness to Germany's economic progress and a testament to the meticulous craftsmanship of its mint workers. Auction houses began listing these coins more prominently, and the competition to own an authentic example grew fierce. The combination of low mintage, historical intrigue, and perfect condition in a few surviving specimens captivated collectors worldwide. These coins are not only rare but also beautiful, with a finely executed oak leaf design that shines brilliantly under light. Collectors admire the crispness of the strike and the minimal signs of wear, often indicative of having been set aside shortly after minting. It is not uncommon for collectors to spend years hunting for a pristine 1977D example, often scouring flea markets, estate sales, and coin shows, hoping to catch a glimpse of this elusive treasure. The sense of discovery associated with this coin has created a small but passionate community of enthusiasts who share stories, photographs, and even legends about these coins' origins and discoveries. Each authenticated specimen adds to the narrative, confirming the theory that only a handful of these rare coins survived the melting pots and relentless circulation of the decades. The most remarkable aspect of this story is the coin's value today. In a recent high-profile auction, a pristine, uncirculated 5-pfennig 1977D fetched an astounding $2.8 million, stunning even the most seasoned numismatists and cementing its place as one of the most valuable German coins ever sold. This staggering price reflects not just the coin's rarity but its place in numismatic history and its extraordinary appeal to collectors who understand its significance. Those who own such a coin often treat it not merely as an investment but as a cherished heirloom, preserving it in protective cases and ensuring its story is passed on to future generations. The journey of the 5-pfennig 1977D from ordinary pocket change to a multi-million-dollar treasure reminds us that even the smallest things can hold immense value when history and rarity intertwine. For collectors and enthusiasts, this coin remains a beacon of discovery, a reminder that sometimes treasures are found in the most unexpected places, waiting for someone to recognize their true worth.